Small drones are all the rage these days. I'm guessing it's very related to the size and weight restrictions drones have in many countries and the fact that small drones are getting big drones performance nowadays. You have seen me reviewing a lot of Cinewhoops lately, but what I have today is not a Cinewhoop, but it's still pretty small as well. This is the CADDX GOFILM 20 at 2 inches Cinewhoop CADDX created as the first bind and flight. Let me tell you a little bit of history behind the scenes to understand why we have this drone with us. You see, when CADDX started to produce the avatar system, DJI was the king of HD. CADDX was selling DJI, and there was kind of a fight between the two of them because CADDX created Avatar and it was like under another name or different companies in the beginning or something like that. Anyway, they stopped working together, and at that time, two different HD systems started to exist for the FPV community. Manufacturers like iFlight and GeparC, the big ones, started to sell all of them. You could find an Evoke with an Avatar system or an O3 or a Vista system. The same with GeparC, the Mark V, they could be found on any of the three configurations. But after a while, these same companies stopped selling the Avatar, the Walksnail version of this drone. And many have been wondering why that happened. And some people say that it was DJI applying pressure on these manufacturers to not sell the Avatar system. Some other people just think that it was about market demand and that there was not enough demand for Walksnail system, so the manufacturers stopped selling their version of these drones. One way or the other, CADDX found itself at the end of this time with a very nice shiny HD system that they wanted to present to their customers with very little support from manufacturers. Some small companies still created Walksnail's version of their drones like Flywoo and Beta FPV, for example, but they did it in a market sector that DJI didn't really have a dominance or still doesn't have a dominance. Like Cinewhoops and smaller drones is where these two companies were focusing and other companies were focusing as well. That is the reason why I believe CADDX went and tried to create its own bind and flight to be able to offer their customers what they have created and what they believe in, this new Avatar Walksnail HD system. This is the first iteration or the first drone that they create, and I expect them to do something else, like a 5 inches freestyle or a 3.5 inches freestyle drone or something, maybe, who knows, maybe even a Cinewhoop. This small drone, the GoFilm 20, comes with the best Walksnail VTX out there, the Moonlight VTX. The Moonlight is the flagship of CADDX and Walksnail right now, offering 4K recording directly to an SD card in the VTX. With somehow bulkier VTX, almost the same size as of O3, it's a good fit for many frames because they are sharing that space from an O3 to this Moonlight. Internally, the Moonlight is actually two boards, and therefore you see these two holes here where you have to connect them with a very easy to lose cable when you're going to update the VTX. But to my good surprise, the video quality of this camera and VTX is really good. I thought I was going to have more problems going from a light environment into a dark one or the other way around, but it handles pretty well in my opinion. Then, a selling point for the Moonlight VTX is the low light camera it has. I'm not one flying during the night that much, but of course I had to go and test it. So I went for a fly when things were getting dark to see how it looked, and I have to say that I was positively surprised. I could see better through the camera of the drone than with my own eyes at that moment. It's difficult to capture this feeling in the video, but believe me, this is pretty cool. The camera is mounted in this floating mechanism, which was kind of introduced to Cinewhoops a couple of years back by GeparC, which in theory reduces vibration entering the camera and gives you a better chance for a good shot because of this soft mounting that it has around the camera. If you look closely, this drone is not designed with the idea of mounting an action camera on top of it, not even a naked GoPro in my opinion. The lid above the camera doesn't make it very easy to have anything around it, and there are not many screw holes that you can work with to create your own mount. And I think this is because CADDX is betting on their Moonlight, which give you enough good quality for videos that most people will be using on the YouTube or Instagram and these kind of things. The GoFilm 20 is pretty light at 150 grams with 1303 at 6000 kV motors. This combination gives enough power to fly this drone outside without much issues, but I wouldn't put it against a lot of wind. I would actually say that it has so much power for its size that some people might find it difficult to fly indoors and might need to readjust or try it themselves a lot before being able to fly indoors. All the ports are located in a place you can access them easily, with the exception of the flight controller USB port, which takes a small micro USB cable to get in there. But the Moonlight binding button, the SD card slot and the upgrade cables are kind of easy to work with. I like the black matte look on this drone instead of the typical carbon fiber for the body. It makes it look a little bit more professional, more like a tool for those cinematographers instead of just a toy that you can fly around. This drone was designed with filming in mind. I wouldn't put it to do a lot of freestyle, and if you look at the prop guards, they are made from plastic and I wouldn't think that they are super resistant. A hard crash can really easily break this and you're not gonna have a lot to work with. But this drone, because of the size and the weight and the protections around the motors, is perfectly done for having those proximity clips that you want when, I don't know, someone is skating, for example, or if you want to fly around people without being very worried about hitting them or something that can damage people or the drone. So this is the goal of this drone, being able to capture those 4K 60 clips around people in tight places, indoor and outdoor, with certain restrictions, but with a very small size and with a very light weight that is going to help you, and it's going to help everyone working with these kind of devices and filming to have what they're looking for. Remember that the Moonlight VTX works also with GiroFlow. This is something that is really important, which again shows CADDX interest in making this drone a filming tool. GiroFlow is a tool that allows you to stabilize your video, and even though this drone has an internal stabilization, or the VTX has an internal stabilization tool, GiroFlow is still much better. And having the information from the Giro in the files, it's making the process of stabilization with the tool super easy, and it works perfectly. I like the fact that CADDX designed this camera and created ND filters for it. There is one in the box that comes with the drone, but what I don't understand is that it's an ND8, which I believe is a less use of them all. I'm happy CADDX is providing a binary flight drone with their Walksnail system. We need even more, and as I said before, a freestyle drone from them or a Cinewhoop would be super cool to have. But I understand that they wanted to start with a Cinewhoop, which is very popular among a lot of people, and thinking that this is a filming tool, a Cinewhoop makes a lot of sense. If you are in the Walksnail world and you want a nice little Cinewhoop to get some cool shots and you don't want to build one yourself, this drone is an excellent option. This is what I have for you today. I hope that you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please remember to like, comment, and all those things that help us create more content like this one. Thank you for watching, and see you soon!